Hello everyone, I am Erika of BEADINGSCHOOL.com and you are watching Coffee Time with Erika, my weekly BD broadcast, and today it is the time for a live design session from the everlasting KISS Beading School Academy theme box. But before I would start, please let me know if you can hear me, if you can see me well. I don't see yet comments coming in, and I think one of the very good reasons might be that you ladies are busy with the Beading School Advent Adventure. We have started a few days ago with a warm-up day, warm-up day, and today is day 2, the 2nd of December, of surprises, super special deals, and sometimes even gifts. But now I see Jennifer, Anita, Antoinette, Lita is here, Linda, Bernadette, and I can see your comments that you can hear me and see me. Wonderful. So, lovely ladies, how is so far the Beading School Advent Adventure for you? I'm curious, let me know. Did you already grab something nice? What was it that you liked the most so far? In the meantime, while I am waiting for your answers, I just want to tell our beaders who are maybe not familiar with it yet that the Advent Adventure is a 24 plus 2 day series of super special deals. We normally don't have discounts at Beading School, but this is your only chance. So super special deals, sometimes exclusive access to, for example, kits like the one that you see on the picture next to me. Sometimes you get first dibs on something super special. So always something exciting happening. And of course, also some gifts are coming your way. And Jill says, Happy Advent Days to all. And Lita says, I loved the warm-up special. To test and see what can the Beading School Beach Top withstand, during the warm-up day, we had a gift for everyone who was participating, and you ladies could choose from 3 colors of beautiful ice-colored finished fire-polished beads. Ooh, Marie-Cecile says, I'm watching from the bar of a beautiful Art Deco hotel. What a pleasure to hear people talking about pearls here. Antoinette liked day 0. Oh, that was a good one with the Oram bag and Ruxandra's tutorial. Anita grabbed lots of green pearls. Yosin says, every day lots of fun for me. Linda says, my favorite was the Preciosa Oram bundle. And Hannah says, the new spacer bars are beautiful. They are. So, lovely ladies, for only a few more days, the Advent Adventure is still open for you. And then we will close sign-ups, and the opportunity to be part of this will be gone for exactly a year. The deals, they are always valid for 48 hours, sometimes 24 hours, something even more extra. So still, if you are part of the Beading School Advent Adventure, so if you are going for it now, first you need to finish ordering the ticket and then going back to the round glass beads category, we still have a deal valid from day 1 from yesterday, where you can shop all round glass beads with 30% off. It's pretty crazy good, right? So it is really a beautiful occasion to expand your stash. This is what I have been doing recently with my pearls. I made this fancy bracelet for my birthday because it was a costume party. So even the bigger pearls, the 6 and 8 millimeter ones, they are important building blocks on your bead mat. And today we released the second deal already, part of the metal findings and components. So it means that the Advent Adventure beaders who have the ticket already, they can shop earrings, charms, pendants, connectors, and spacers with 25% off. And we even have a fuchsia bag full of brand new spacer bars because we noticed this year how much you love them. So these are also waiting for our Advent Adventure beaders. But now I would love to start beading and designing because it is live design and I'm always super excited about it. So now I will switch to my hand camera. I will show you the little everlasting kiss video for you in the meantime while I do the switch, and then I kindly ask you to focus on actually beading, and please help me out if for some reason I get stuck. I'm always eagerly waiting for your opinion and ideas, and then in the end there will again be ample time and space to ask all kinds of questions about the Advent Adventure and anything else that you are curious about. So I will switch now and see you in a moment. Hopefully you can hear me again and see my bead mat. I will adjust the brightness and my lamp. Please let me know if you can hear me, if you can see me. Oh, I need to turn it also, hide the cable, hide the coffee spot. Please let me know if you can hear me, if you can see me well. So, oh, Kasia says I bought 2 fuchsia bags. And Linda says that she can hear me and see me again. So that is wonderful. Then let's get started. So since we are focusing on metal components today during the Advent Adventure, then I thought that it would also be nice to use some of the metal components from the Everlasting Kiss Beading School Academy theme box. So I have here these little leaf-shaped spacers that come from the Beading School Academy box. And let's see if I can fix them into a bezel in some way. I was also intrigued by the low-cut glass cabochons, and I will try to come up with a quick bezel to catch this beautiful Sphinx laser light colored round cabochon. It's one of my favorite colors from this box. So Lovely ladies, I have two ideas for the bezel, and I'm always eager to hear your opinion. I have my everlasting kiss box here, and what do you think? Shall I try to create a bezel using Miyuki Tilla beads, or maybe build something on top of a circle of fire polished beads? I wanted to choose something matte and something darker, so then the Sphinx cabochon really pops and shows how beautiful it is. So a little bit of voting. Would you like to see a bezel built on top of 4mm fire polished beads, or maybe the Miyuki Tilla beads? And Nancy, I see your question. In the meantime, I will quickly answer it, but then I kindly ask you ladies to focus on beading, because as you can imagine, it's quite mentally heavy to come up with something on the spot. And in the end, I will come back to all kinds of questions that you might get. So Nancy, I would recommend looking out for a special day during the Advent calendar if you would like to have the exact same clasp that I do, or something similar. Sharon votes for Tilla, Mary Cecile Tilla, Bernadette Tilla, Niti says fire polished, Martina Tilla, Rachel Tilla, Katja Tilla. So pretty much we have a decision. I'm really sorry, Niti. There might be some fire polished beads later, but for now, for sure, it is the Tilla beads by popular demand. So first, I want to see, sorry ladies, for some reason I'm losing always the, okay, here it is, finally the beads are in the focus. So first, I want to see that how many Tilla beads do I need for the bezel. And I will start with the inside holes and with the top of the bezel. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I lost you for a second, unfortunately, because an emergency call is coming in for some reason. So I will try with 6, but that will be a lot. So I see that 5 is more sufficient, which is not a number that I like to use when it comes to bezels, because I prefer to have Sorry, ladies, I need to adjust the camera. The placement of it doesn't seem to work for some reason today, and I don't understand since I'm doing this so often. Thank you for your patience. And also, it's always... Okay. I'm really sorry, I clapped the camera, which is my phone basically, into the holder, pushing down on one of the buttons. So that's why it was always misbehaving and wanting to switch off. But hopefully it will be okay now. So I have 5 tilla beads on my thread, and I'm going to bead through the same holes one more time. To create a circle. I will try it on the front of the cabochon, and it seems that the size will work out well. I will also bead through the first hole of the first bead, and then I want to add some size 15 seed beads or size 11. Let's see. Size 15s in between the first holes of the tilla beads that I have used already. So I pick up a size 15 and I bead through the inside hole of the next tilla. And then again, I pick up a size 15 and I bead through the inside hole of the next tilla. Size 15, tilla, size 15, tilla, size 15, tilla, and then I want to also connect somehow the outside holes of the tilla beads, so I turn to the opposite direction by beading through one of the outside holes. And here I will want to add, okay, I will use this actually for the back part because I don't like the look of it that much. So I will connect the outside holes of the tilla beads in some way and then create the top of the bezel. So I don't want to create a very deep bezel, but also I want to somewhat follow as much as possible the lines of the angle of the low cut. So I need to see what is the size of the of the bead that fits in between the outside holes of the Dilla beads. So I will try, for the sake of some extra bling, to add 3mm bicones, but it seems that's too small. So let's see. Let's go with something safe. Let's go with the Rita suggests 3mm Orm fire polish beads. And that's a good idea as soon as I find them. Yes. There are so many beads in the Academy box that even if everything is nicely laid out, then sometimes it's hard to find what I'm looking for. Corinne says the cabochon will be hidden. I still will try to change it, and indeed sometimes, especially when I'm doing a live design, then it does not go exactly how I want it to be. So sometimes I end up tweaking it afterwards, and often you ladies are tweaking it afterwards and finding very, very nice solutions. I'm really happy with how the desert rose came out, even if that was challenging at first. I thought that it came out so big that we will not be able to bead it together during a no one has to bead alone session, but in the end it was okay. I need to make this little ball smaller, and I might include the little leaves here to make it smaller. But first, I want to retrace the thread path. And create a stronger base. So I retraced the thread path all around the edge. And let's see if I can make this smaller by adding some of these leaves on the edge. So exiting the fire polished, Nancy asks what kind of thread I'm using. I'm always using Fireline. It's my absolute favorite. I will use here size 15 seed beads, but in a darker shade, because I want the leaf to really shine and not be overshadowed by the surroundings. So I pick up 2 of the size 15s. I bead through the first hole of the little leaf. Beware, because it has a top and a bottom side. Then I pick up a size 11. I bead back through the second hole of the little leaf. And then I pick up 2 size 15s and bead through the next fire polished bead. And let's see if this looks like I will be able to. Okay, I think I will be able to connect to each other the size 11 seed beads in some way. Maybe more of the cabochon will be hidden than I would like to, but now it's kind of like a technical challenge for me if I can make it work or not. Let's see. So I will repeat this all around, always starting out from a fire polished bead, picking up 2 pieces of the size 15 seed beads, beading through one of the holes of the leaf shade, a little spacer, adding a size 11 seed bead in between the 2 symmetrical parts of the spacer, and then beading back through its second hole and finishing it off with 2 size 15s. I'm doing this now for the 3rd time. Sorry, I have to switch the spacer. Because it has, I told you it has a back and a front, and then I picked it up the wrong way. And I think there is, right, that also a 2 millimeter little round pearl would be nice in the middle of that little spacer bar. Oh, and magic number is 5, not 6. Because I have 5 tilla beads in that first circle. It will actually be pretty tall. I don't really feel this yet, but sometimes that's indeed the case, that I need to push through and make friends with the solution, and then actually it starts to show itself and what it wants to be. Not always the case. Isn't it like always a challenge to know when to stop pushing through? Because we don't want to give up right away, but we also don't want to force something. And that's kind of like the art of life in general, I would say. Molly says she likes it. Thanks for liking it, Molly. I'm not convinced yet, but I don't want to be judgmental while this is still the beginning. No, these need to go out. Otherwise they will not be nice on top of the bezel. I will try something else for holding down the cabochon. I will try to add just some seed beads. The 2 millimeter pearl, I feel, wouldn't work that well because, I do have ideas. I need to make the middle of the bezel smaller, and that's why I'm going to use some of the 3mm bugle beads. I'm always making such a mess. Indeed, Terry also has the same idea. Let's try the bugles. I'm always making such a mess with live design. And I actually already see that the slender bugles will improve not only the structure itself, but also they add something to the look that I really like. Lita also likes the idea of the bugles, and indeed I think with bugles it will work. Rachel also joined. And Angelina says, I don't know how to design beadwork without making a mess, right? It seems to be an essential part of designing. When I know what to do, then it's easier. But when I'm pulling out everything, and there are over 40 different components included in the Beading School Academy theme box, so when I'm pulling out everything, then indeed it can become messy, incredibly messy. That's why it feels such an accomplishment if I manage to clean my bead mat at some point. So I repeat a little bit of the thread pass. Because I don't want to start adding right away. And I need to add indeed something more. Terry says she's also making a mess today because she's designing. Yay! I'm glad I'm not alone with the mess. And indeed, as Linda suggests, we need some picots. I think we need size 10 delicas on the corners in between the groups of beads that I have added previously. I think that should be the distance. Yes. And then I will add, I hope to add some more bugles in between the size 10 delica beads. And the first group with the bugles was size 15 bugle, size 15. And here I will hope to add only bugles. So that's a little bit smaller, so might be sufficient for closing the bezel. Okay, So the cabochon is far from safe, but it's getting better. Oh, Terry says, this is going very well, love it. And Angelina says, so cool to have size 10 Delica beads. And I don't know if you have heard a sigh of relief, but indeed, I'm starting to be happy with how this is coming together. But still, it seems that a bugle will not fill the distance between the size 10s, despite my initial thought. So I will again try, but this time with a different color of size 15, bugle size 15. Yes. The second gap is of a different size. This is a bit annoying. Okay, I will try only between the bugles. Linda is asking about a 6mm slender bugle. I'm using 3mm ones, dear Linda, and the gap is not enough for a 6mm one. And if possible, then I would love to stick to only beads that come from the Everlasting Kiss Beading School Academy theme box. Rarely I insert something else when I really have to, but I would like to make this work only with Everlasting Kiss components, if possible. I'm trying to gently pull some more to make the top of the bezel also secure, but carefully, because the bugles, even if, and this one is actually broken, the bugles are sometimes sharp, so I want to make sure that they don't damage my thread. And Patricia is asking, what if you put 3 size 15s before your bugles? And if this does not work, I will try that, dear Patricia. Thank you so much for the idea. But I think this might actually work out. I just need to retrace the thread path. What do you think, ladies? I will still decorate the bezel some more, but it seems that my cabochon starts to be fastened securely. 3, 4, 5. I want to retrace the whole thread path. Okay. Oh, and hi Sharon, I haven't seen you. So this is how it looks so far. And I will actually add size 15s now, because there is a tiny gap between the delicas and between the bugle beads that I don't like. But if I pick up the size 15 bugle, size 15 combination at once, then it's too much. However, this way the size 15s will be pushed outside the circle a tiny bit. So while they are filling the gaps, but they don't add to the length of that sequence that is in between the size 10 Erika beads. Veronka likes to work this way, and I love it how we influence each other. It's always, when doing this, just a question of, will all the beads sit nicely, because they really need to look also nice and neat. And also I don't want to break, of course, any of the bugle beads. But it seems that, shoot, nearly. Okay, that last size 15, I don't exactly like the look of it, but I don't want to rip this apart anymore, so I will try another way. Molly says, will it come on PDF? I hope to draw a PDF, but there might be modifications, because after a live design, I always kind of rework the whole thing to make sure that it's up to my technical standards. So to fix that last size 15's position, because I don't like how it sits, it's turning on the side, I'm adding bugle beads, a third one on top of the two. And here I'm going to add some size 11 Erika beads, for example, and little picots indeed, as Linda suggested earlier. And hi, Susanna. And Sharon says also, I hope this will be a design we can get later. I simply cannot bead along in live sessions. And I think that's very, very normal, Susan, that Sharon, that you can't bead along with me when it's a live design, because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm really like making this up on the spot. So it is indeed challenging. Oh, but now I just have an idea. I will make it more dramatic. Though I'm not someone for drama, but I will make this one more dramatic by adding picots of bugle, size 15 bugle here. What do you think, ladies? Linda loves the spacers on the corners. And Angelina says it would be difficult to top the last live design. It was a good one. It was my favorite, actually. But I think you are getting there. Oh, thank you, dear Angelina. Like, this one started out a little bit shaky, I would say. I did not think it through how difficult it can be to bezel a low-cut cabochon with tilla beads, because the tillas does not behave well in this position. I think they work well for bezels with bigger cabochons, or on the contrary, when 4 tilla beads are enough. But the 5, it just creates a too deep nest, and then I just don't like the look of it. But now it's getting somewhere. The layered look that is admired by Judy looks nice indeed. However, I will not see afterwards what I was doing. So I will have to reverse engineer this following the video. But indeed, like, ladies, don't you think that this looks like a little snowflake? Are there snowflakes? There are snowflakes which have 5 points for sure, right? And lovely ladies, I think after repeating the thread path one more time while skipping the size 15s on the corners, I would say that today's live design is finished, and I really, really appreciate you chipping in with your ideas, because indeed for a while I was not sure if I can make this work. Oh, and Patricia says I'm liking this design a lot. And Molly says also has some snowflake or star vibes. Oh, I'm so glad that this is coming together. So what I'm doing now, I will bead through bugles only and skipping everything in between to make this design neater. And lovely ladies, I said there will be ample time for other questions and everything what you would like to say, share, ask. So please, this is your time. And I would also like to ask you a question, dear ladies. December is holiday season. Hanukkah is coming. Christmas is coming. For some, simply end of the year, winding down, taking a step back and looking back at the year. So I would like to ask, how are you getting ready for the holidays, or just finishing the end and starting a new one? How do you feel that another year is slowly, very, very quickly coming to an end? Anita says, it's pretty, loving those colors more and more. And Rachel says she has 4 spacers, so she's experimenting with a different look. And I'm super curious about that, dear Rachel. Please, everyone, also make sure to post your experience. I hope that you were playing along with me. And please post the results or the work in progress status of your playtime into the Beading School Club. It's always so fun to see that even when we are playing with the same components, same shapes, same colors, then the results can be very, very different, because it's always influenced by our very own personality. And Lita says that all real snowflakes have 6 sides. Thank you so much, Lita. I didn't know. Good to know. And Angelina likes the addition of the bugles. Ludka agrees. And Kata says, I'm looking forward to get rid of this year. Time for a new chapter. And I agree with you, dear Kata. I'm with you. And Angelina says, this whole year passed by so quickly, and it's still super hectic here, almost noon, and I'm just having my breakfast. Angelina, I know that You also moved this year, so for sure a lot was happening, and it is the time to take a rest. And Ginny says, I feel very rushed at the time between Thanksgiving and Christmas. Seems so short this year. Indeed. Sherry also says, I can't believe how fast this year has passed. Susan finds this pretty. And Angelina says, stunning, it does look like a snowflake despite having only 5 points. I will do my best to rework it a little bit because I'm still not 100% happy. One of the bugles is just not sitting as nicely as I like it to sit. Someone is a perfectionist here. Loretta joined us. Cindy finds it beautiful. And Patricia says, Christmas is a magic time. I'm always very happy because I have my 2 daughters here in Rome and we spend a lot of time together. And Antoinette says, it has been a tough year and happy to say goodbye. Well, life's complexity, it brings us happy times, it brings us carefree times, and sometimes it also brings us a tear, some worries, and with that also kind of a test of our trust and hope and perseverance, that we still keep going and know that just as unfortunately the good times pass, the bad times will too. Everything will come to an end. And I think it's a good thought to keep on mind because it will make us savor the good times even more, but also know that when we come upon something unlucky, an unfortunate turn, then it will always come to an end. What is important is to keep the sparkle in our hearts alive. Anita finds resemblance with one of hers. And Linda says, this month my family is celebrating 5 birthdays besides Hanukkah. Wow, Linda, festive time. Gail says, where did the year go? Frantic yet hopeful that the holidays will be beautiful and peaceful. Cindy is recovering from cataract surgery. Get well soon, dear Cindy. And Sharon is asking for the back. It's not flat, it's actually pretty bowly because the half tillas are lining the angles of the low cut cabochon. And Linda says, maybe a square stitch will straighten the bugle. I think it just doesn't fit, unfortunately. But I will do my best to rework it in a way so we can create little snowflakes. And Cosima asks, the spacer bars from the current box were sold out so fast. Will they be restocked? Yes, dear Cosima, they will be. And at the moment, because of the Advent Adventure, the out-of-stock items are not visible in the bead shop to make browsing easier. But normally, I always like to say that when you see something out of stock that you would like to have, then put yourself on the waiting list, because that's also how we see that how many beaders are interested in this or that, because indeed sometimes we have to make decisions that what can we invest into, what can we afford. So always if we see that you guys are interested in something, then a lot of you, then that component or bead will have the priority. And oh, Angelina says your spacer bars are just getting more and more luxurious. I'm so happy that you like them, Angelina, and I hope that you will create something beautiful with them. So lovely ladies, I would like to thank you for beading with me today, all the ideas. And on Thursday, I'm waiting for you with the devotion motif, so no one has to bead alone. And I'm really looking forward to bead with you again. So we will be using the pretty rectangles and some bugles and chaton montes. So there will be lots of sparkle and there will be snapping around the prongs of the cabochon. Lovely ladies, thank you so much for your company today. Very big hugs to you. Take care of yourselves and your loved ones. Bye bye.